Hi, my name is Johanna Crozen, and I'm a teacher with IUSD. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about beginning bowing technique. The first thing is getting our bow ready to be used with our instrument. When we are not using the bow, the hair of the bow is always kept loose, and your teachers will talk about this in school. When we are ready to use the bow, that's when we have to tighten the hair. So we're not using it, I always say, hair is loose when not in use. And when it's time to use it, I'm going to show you how to tighten it right now. The first thing is to always keep your bow in your bow hand, the right hand. So I'm going to take my bow in my bow hand, and for right now, I'm going to just point it forwards like this with the hair pointing up towards the ceiling. Using the left hand, I'm going to take the adjusting screw and turn the adjusting screw to the right, righty-tighty, to tighten the hair off the stick of the bow. Now, every bow is different while I do this. Some bows require a lot of turns, others just a little bit. My bow requires about just that much in full turns. And to see if your bow is tight enough, we can see right here the hair is raised off the stick, and then I do what I call the pinky test. I'm just going to take my pinky, slide it in. If it slides in pretty easily, it's ready to go. Now, if you tighten your hair too much, it'll raise really high off the stick. The stick will look almost bowed the wrong way, and that is not safe. You have to loosen it immediately because the stick could actually break. But this is correct, so we're just raising the hair off the stick a little bit, and the bow is now ready. Now, in order to play really well with the beginning bow technique, we have to, of course, have our correct violin, viola posture. So I'm going to get my feet ready like this. I'm going to do my 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up covering the shoulder. And for right now, I'm just going to take my left hand and put it right here on the shoulder while I'm learning how to bow, not doing any fingering right now. I get my bow in my bow hand, my right hand, and have my great bow hold. Thumb bent, pinky curve, hand relax. Now I'm ready to bow. There are two ways to bow, for right now, in beginning strings. There is down bow and up bow. Down bow is where you take your bow and you start at the frog of the bow, the bottom of the bow. You start at the frog, and down bow is when you go from the frog to the tip. To go the opposite way, up bow, you go from the tip to the frog. So this is down bow, and this is up bow. And I'm going to be using those words as I show you how to bow, so you'll want to really memorize that down bow and up bow. Now, when it's time to bow, I'm going to take my bow and put it near the frog, and I'm going to place it on the D string. Now, I'm going to check and make sure that the hair is only touching the one string. If the hair is touching other strings, it's going to make more sounds than what we want. Hair on the D string. Notice right now before I bow, my wrist and elbow and shoulder are all relaxed. I'm not tensing it. If you tense or raise your shoulder up, you're going to get kind of a tight, ugly sound, and you're not going to like the way you sound when you try to play your songs. So keep everything relaxed, and I'm just going to pull a down bow. Now notice when I did that, the stick of the bow is parallel to the bridge. That means the bridge is going like this, the bow is going that way. We're not accidentally doing this. This happens when our wrist is locked, and I call that a crazy bow in my class, so no crazy bows at home, okay? So we want to make sure that our wrist is not locked, it's nice and relaxed, and allows us to kind of push out. When we're first starting, you'll see that the wrist, elbow, shoulder, and bow kind of make like a square or a box on our instrument. When we go down bow, that becomes like a V. When we go up bow, it kind of makes a small V like this. So we start with the box position. And have nice, smooth down and up bows. You want to be careful in the beginning. You might get some extra notes when you're playing. That's okay in the beginning. That's why you're practicing. You just keep going until you only play one string at a time. when it's time to go to the next string, you just tilt your bow. Make sure that your wrist and shoulder and elbow are all relaxed. And you go to the next string. I call this kind of like elevator levels. You want to raise it all like this. And we'll talk about that more in class as you get more advanced. But for now, if you want to get really good at bowing, you have to have a great bow hold, a great posture and position, have your bow only touching one string at a time, and going down bow and up bow smoothly. Make sure your bow doesn't slide over the fingerboard or especially over the bridge. That would sound kind of yucky. And that's beginning bowing technique.